Welcome to VNews Bulletins. Coming up next are our top stories. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister calls for U.S. support for Mekong growth balance. Free trade agreement expected to provide opportunities for business and investment in Europe and Vietnam. National Tourism Year offers opportunities for Mekong Delta. President Trương Tấn Sang has affirmed Vietnam will support Laos to successfully perform the role as ASEAN chair in 2016. He said this during a reception for Lao Minister to the President's office, Phongsavat Phopha, in Hanoi on August 5th.
President Sang thanked Lao presidential officials for creating favorable conditions for Vietnamese enterprises to invest in the country. He added that visit to Vietnam will contribute to tightening the traditional relations between the two countries. The president said, as party congresses at all levels are set to take place in the two nations, two sides should share experiences to organize successful events. The Lao official extended his sympathies over the great loss of lives and properties caused by torrential rains and floods in Vietnam's northern regions. He said with the leadership of the party and state, the affected localities will soon overcome difficulties and stabilize their livelihoods. He said he hoped that the Vietnamese presidential office would help the Lao office in website development and share experience in popularizing the presidential office's activities among residents nationwide.
Prime Minister Nguyen Tân Dũng has met with New Zealand Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment, Stephen Joyce, who is on a working visit to Vietnam. Let's take a look.
Prime Minister Dũng spoke highly of the visit and the results of cooperation between the New Zealand Ministry for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment and the Vietnam Ministry of Education and Training. He adds this will make contributions to the Vietnam-New Zealand Comprehensive Partnership. He said Vietnam expects to discuss with New Zealand new models of cooperation with the view to enhancing ties in trade, investment, tourism and agriculture, among others. The minister said New Zealand is willing to assist Vietnam in setting a national standard on education and boost cooperative ties with Vietnam in agriculture and healthcare. He also said the visit to Vietnam by Prime Minister John Kay later this year will be an important step, marking the two countries' efforts to lift up bilateral ties. On August 5th, New Zealand Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment, Stephen Joyce, and Vietnamese Minister of Education and Training, Phạm Vũ Luận, co-chaired the second education forum between the two countries. The forum serves as a platform for ministers, leaders of education establishments and universities to discuss and work out cooperation strategies between Vietnam and New Zealand. On this occasion, the two ministers signed a bilateral agreement on education cooperation for the 2015 to 2020. The document will serve as the ground for many joint education training programs between the two countries in the time ahead. At the event, Vietnam's northern province of Quảng Ninh and New Zealand's Auckland University of Technology also signed an agreement on cooperation in education and tourism.
Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh has called on the U.S. to get involved in dealing with water, energy, food relations through supporting Mekong countries in seeking effective measures to cope with climate change. Our correspondents report from Malaysia.
He made the appeal during the 8th Lower Mekong Initiative Ministerial Meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on August 5th. The event was chaired by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. Deputy Prime Minister Minh also called for U.S. support for the International Mekong Commission in improving research and technical capacity to meet the need of harmonious, sustainable and comprehensive growth in the sub-region. He recommended supplementing projects proposed by Mekong countries, stressing that many of these schemes have been designed to support Vietnam's Mekong Delta localities to cope with salinity and drought. Participants also discussed ways to ensure the sustainable growth of the lower Mekong region, where the need for infrastructure serving socio-economic development is rising. The same day, Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh and High Representative of the European Union for External Affairs and Security Policy, Federica Mogherini, co-chaired a meeting between ASEAN and EU foreign ministers. The ministers agreed to continue fostering cooperative relations towards a strategic partnership and soon resume negotiations on an ASEAN-EU free trade agreement. At the ASEAN-Japan Foreign Ministers meeting, the two sides affirmed the resolve to strengthen cooperation on 4 pillars stated in the vision statement on ASEAN-Japan friendship and cooperation and the plan of action to implement this statement. At the ASEAN-US meeting, the ministers agreed to elevate dialogue relationship to strategic partnership. The two sides also pledged to soon finalize the content of ASEAN-EU Plan of Action for the 2016 to 2020 and speed up cooperation in the fields of security, economics, socio-cultural affairs, and sustainable development. During the ASEAN-Australia Foreign Ministers meeting, both sides consented to pushing up cooperation in trade, investment, and education, as well as enhancing people-to-people exchanges. They affirmed their determination to further step up collaboration in response to non-traditional security challenges, including terrorism, disaster management, climate change, and search and rescue at sea. At the ASEAN-New Zealand meeting, the ministers agreed to submit a proposal on upgrading bilateral ties to strategic partnership to the two sides' senior leaders for approval. Both sides asserted they will continue to implement 4 pilot initiatives in order to facilitate the formation of ASEAN community and fostering bilateral bonds in a number of fields, including education, technology, and agriculture.
Deputy Prime Minister Hoàng Trung Hải and South African Vice President Cyril Ramaphosa discussed a range of measures to boost cooperative relations between the two countries during their talk in Pretoria.
At the meeting, Vice President Ramaphosa welcomed Hai's official visit to South Africa, which he said holds significant meaning as the two nations are developing comprehensive collaboration. The visit also creates an opportunity for the two sides to review and evaluate the bilateral cooperation in recent years and seek measures to push the South traditional friendship forward, he noted. The Vice President affirmed that the South Africa attaches great importance to relations with Vietnam, a promising market and an important gateway to the Southeast Asian region. He also highlighted the long-standing relations between the African National Congress Party and the Communist Party of Vietnam, which were established 60 years ago. For his part, Deputy Prime Minister Hoàng Trung Hải congratulated South Africa on its remarkable achievements from economy and politics to external affairs. Hai also highlighted the increasingly important role of South Africa in international organizations.
The Government Steering Committee for Administrative Reform convened in Hanoi on August 5th, discussing measures to tackle cumbersome procedures. During the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc requested that ministries and sectors make drastic moves to streamline administrative procedures and apply information technology to help Vietnam's business climate indexes reach or surpass ASEAN national averages. Participants revealed that in the first half of 2015, Vietnam simplified more than 4,400 of the 4,723 administrative procedures, accounting for 93.8%. Particularly, Vietnam officially carried out the National Single Window Mechanism at 5 international seaports in nationwide localities. Deputy Prime Minister Phúc, who is also head of the Steering Committee for Administrative Reform, required administrative procedures be standardized and popularized, while procedure handling outcomes need to be published online. The European Union and Vietnam has reached an agreement in principle for a free trade agreement after nearly 3 years of intense negotiations.
Vietnamese Minister of Industry and Trade Vũ Huy Hoàng unveiled the information at a press conference in Hanoi on August the 4th. Minister Hoàng and EU Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmström agreed on the basic conclusion of negotiations on the FTA after they had a phone call on August the 4th. The EU-Vietnam FTA is a comprehensive pact covering a wide range of fields such as trade in goods and services, rules of origin, customs and trade facilitation, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, technical barriers to trade, investment, trade protection, competition, state-owned enterprises, government procurement, intellectual property, sustainable development, cooperation and capacity building.
There is still much to be done after the agreement is officially signed. We will have to make clear of the content of the trade deal, the advantages as well as challenges that Vietnamese firms may face while implementing the agreement.
The negotiations were commenced and concluded amidst the flourishing relations between Vietnam and the EU, especially in economics and trade.
I feel very relieved. I'm very happy to see that this negotiation has gone so smoothly. Often in trade negotiations it takes longer than we expect, but this negotiation has been helped greatly by the confidence and the mutual understanding of the two sides.
The same day, EU Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmström hosted a press briefing in Brussels to inform about the freshly ended trade agreement. The Commissioner said this is the most ambitious and comprehensive pact that the EU has signed with a developing country.
And this agreement sets an EU new model for trade policy in developing countries. Once the agreement is up and running, it will provide significant opportunities for business, investment and for jobs here in Europe and in Vietnam. It will remove nearly all tariffs on goods traded between us. It covers services, investment and issues such as government procurement.
The signing of FTA with a developed partner like the EU will open up a wide range of opportunities for Vietnam to get access to high technologies, improve management skills and create more jobs, thus helping ensure social welfare. To only bring these benefits into reality, the two sides agreed to accelerate the summarization of technical contents so that the agreement could be finalized right in 2015 for signing and approval as soon as possible.
Golden opportunities will open up for the whole Mekong Delta to promote its marine and island tourism as the National Tourism Year is scheduled to take place in Kiên Giang province next year. The region is home to a range of spectacular landscapes to further boost tourism development. However, only Tiền Giang, Vĩnh Long, Cần Thơ, Kiên Giang and Phu Quoc Island are seen as popular destinations for travelers. In 2014, the region welcomed over 22.4 million vacationers, including 1.83 million foreigners, and earned $296.2 million from tourism. In a bid to tap tourism potentials, stimulate the economy, and welcome the National Tourism Year, the host province of Kiên Giang has accelerated the completion of several infrastructure projects while upgrading a green tree plantation project and traffic signal light system. It also plans to push ecotourism forwards with historic and cultural relic sites and craft village tourism. New tours will become available, such as Singapore to Phu Quoc and Russia to Phu Quoc tours. The province is also championing the tourism program 3 countries, 1 destination with Cambodia and Thailand. As the National Tourism Year brings huge advantages to the host locality, Kiên Giang needs to promote its images through meticulous preparation of both contents and human resources. And we have reached the end of our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. As always, we aim to bring you the latest events of the day. We'll see you again soon.